Are you ready for an adventure of a lifetime? Look no further than Norway, a country filled with natural wonders that will leave you in awe. From majestic fjords to vibrant cities, and we're here to guide you through the most interesting facts about Norway's top 10 breathtaking places that you won't believe. Number 10. Trolltunga is positioned above Ringedalsvatnet Lake, 700 meters high in the Hardangerfjord, one of the world's longest fjords. Its name, Trollstung, is fittingly descriptive of its appearance. But getting to Trolltunga isn't easy. The hike to the top takes around 10 to 12 hours round trip and covers over 22 kilometers of rugged terrain. As you stand on the edge of Trolltunga, with nothing but air between you and the lake below, it's hard not to feel like you're on top of the world. But here's where things get interesting. As you take in the view, you might notice something strange happening beneath your feet. That's right, Trolltunga is actually slowly moving. Scientists believe that this movement is caused by changes in temperature and pressure, which cause the rock to expand and contract ever so slightly. It's a surreal experience to be standing on something that feels alive beneath your feet. But don't worry, despite its movement, Trolltunga has been stable for thousands of years and shows no signs of collapsing anytime soon. And here's a little-known fact about Trolltunga: it came into existence a whopping 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. As glaciers retreated from Norway, they left behind massive rocks that were then molded and sculpted by wind and water over time. It showcases just how powerful nature can truly be. Number 9. Svalbard. A remote area where polar bears outnumber humans on the islands. Imagine being surrounded by over 3,000 of these majestic creatures while only having around 2,500 people as your company. So if you're looking for a thrilling wildlife encounter, this is the place to be. Now for the surprising turning point. Despite being located in the Arctic Circle, Svalbard experiences a phenomenon known as a polar night. During winter months, the sun doesn't rise above the horizon for weeks or even months at a time. On the flip side, during summer months, Svalbard experiences midnight sun, where the sun never sets. And here's a little-known fact: the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. This facility located deep inside a mountain stores over 1 million seed samples from around the world in case of a global catastrophe such as nuclear war or natural disasters. It's like an insurance policy for humanity's future food supply. Number 8. This island has a unique history that dates back to the Viking Age. There is even a museum dedicated to it called Lofoten Viking Museum. Back in the day, Lofoten Island was a hub for cod fishing. The Vikings used to come here every year during the winter season to catch codfish because they were abundant in these waters. They would dry and salt the fish and then transport them across Europe for trade. But what's really interesting is how they used to navigate their way through these treacherous waters. The Vikings had an incredible sense of direction and could read the stars like no other. They would use constellations such as Ursa Major and Cassiopeia to guide them through the dark nights. And here's a little-known fact about Lofoten. Did you know that this place is home to the Rost Reef, the world's largest deep-water and cold-water reef? These incredible structures can grow up to 35 meters high and are over 8,000 years old. If you like this video so far, please hit the like and subscribe button, it really helps me out. Number 7. Trollstigen Mountain Road. It is famed for being among the world's most scenic drives. This narrow, winding road takes you through steep mountains and offers 11 challenging hairpin turns. It's fascinating because, in the past, it was built by hand with basic tools like shovels and pickaxes. Harsh weather, snow, and rock slides made it even tougher. Imagine the effort to create such a road on those slopes. Surprisingly, it took only 8 years to complete, from 1925 to 1936, with hundreds of dedicated workers achieving this engineering marvel. Now for a little-known fact about Trollstigen. In 2005, the mountain road closed for years due to safety worries. A big rock slide damaged it and made it unsafe to drive. But the cool part is, instead of just fixing it, Norwegian architects and engineers completely redesigned it. They added lookout points for people to enjoy the amazing views, built a lovely bridge over a waterfall on the route, and they made zigzagging tunnels that let drivers safely handle the steep slopes without danger or harming their vehicles. Number 6. Vøringfossen. Did you know that it is one of the highest waterfalls in Norway? It stands at a whopping 182 meters tall and drops into a deep canyon below. The sheer size of this natural wonder will leave you awestruck as you stand before it. In the early 1900s, hydroelectric power became an essential source of energy for Norway. To harness this power, engineers built tunnels behind the waterfall to redirect the water flow towards turbines. Now, here's a little-known fact about Vøringfossen. During World War II, Norwegian resistance fighters used these same tunnels to hide from German soldiers. They would enter through one side of the tunnel, climb up behind the waterfall, and exit on the other side undetected. How cool is that? Number 5. Tromsø. It is situated in northern Norway, is often called the gateway to the Arctic. Here, you can see the northern lights, experience the midnight sun, and enjoy stunning nature views. Surprisingly, in the 19th century, Tromsø was known as the Paris of the North, due to its prosperous fishing industry, making it one of Europe's wealthiest cities. Additionally, Tromsø houses one of the world's northernmost universities, the Arctic University of Norway. The university covers topics like Arctic ecology, indigenous studies, and climate change. Now, let me tell you about a little-known fact about Tromsø. It's situated within the Aurora Oval, a prime location for experiencing the northern lights, or aurora borealis. These lights result from solar particles meeting atmospheric gases. Tromsø's position provides an ideal spot to view these vibrant lights moving in the sky. What's even more captivating is that Tromsø's northern lights come with their own sound. Scientists from the University of Tromsø discovered that these lights produce sound waves audible to humans. Known as auroral chorus, these sounds arise from electrons moving through Earth's magnetic field, creating a crackling noise akin to radio static. Number 4. Geiranger. Despite being such a popular tourist destination, Geiranger only has around 250 permanent residents. Can you believe it? This means that during peak season, there are more tourists than locals in the village. It is also home to some of the tallest waterfalls in Europe. The Seven Sisters waterfall is one of them, and it gets its name from the 7 separate streams that cascade down from a height of 820 feet. Here's a little-known fact about Geiranger. It was once home to pirates back in the day. Pirates would hide their ships behind the fjords and wait for unsuspecting vessels to pass by. They would then attack them and steal their loot. Number 3. Flam. In the early 1900s, Flam was a lively trading port, but technology's rise slowed shipping, hurting the economy. Then, a brilliant idea reshaped Flam into a tourist haven. The Flam Railway, built in the late 1920s, connected the town to Bergen and Oslo. This steep railway, known as Flamsbana, this railway takes passengers on a thrilling ride through steep mountainsides and cascading waterfalls. This railway journey is considered one of the most scenic train rides in Europe and attracts thousands of visitors every year. But wait, there's more. Did you know that Flam also has its own microbrewery called Ager Brewery and Pub produces some of the best craft beers in Norway using traditional Viking brewing methods? Now, here's a little-known fact about Flam. Did you know that it has its own microclimate? Due to its location at the end of a fjord surrounded by mountains, it experiences milder temperatures than other parts of Norway. So even if you're visiting during winter, you can still enjoy outdoor activities without freezing your toes off. Number 2. Bergen is a small city located on the west coast of Norway and is surrounded by 7 mountains. The weather in Bergen is fascinating. It's one of the rainiest cities in Europe, with an average annual rainfall of 2,400 millimeters. That's more than double the amount of rainfall London gets in a year. But here's the interesting part: despite the heavy rainfall, Bergen rarely experiences thunderstorms. In fact, it has been over 20 years since the last thunderstorm was recorded in Bergen. So why does this happen? Well, scientists believe it's because of the surrounding mountains that act as a shield against lightning strikes. The mountains create a natural barrier that prevents thunderstorms from forming over the city. But here's a little-known fact about Bergen that makes it even more special: it's also the inspiration behind one of the most beloved animated films of all time, Frozen. The filmmakers behind Frozen were inspired by the stunning landscapes and charming architecture of Bergen. The colorful wooden houses that line the harbor in the film are based on the real-life buildings in Bergen. Number 1. Jotunheimen, which translates to home of the giants, is known for its towering peaks and breathtaking landscapes. It's no wonder why it's one of Norway's most popular tourist destinations. One particularly fascinating discovery was made in 2011 when hikers stumbled upon a perfectly preserved Viking sword on one of Jotunheimen's peaks. The sword was estimated to be around 1,100 years old and had likely been left behind by a Viking warrior who perished in battle or during a hunting trip. It is now displayed in the Museum of Cultural History in Oslo. Now, let me share with you a little-known fact about Jotunheimen National Park. Did you know that it's home to some of Norway's oldest cultural artifacts? Archaeologists have found evidence of human settlements dating back to the Stone Age over 6,000 years. It's fascinating to think about how people lived in this area so long ago and how they survived in such harsh conditions. If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Thank you, and till next time.